Hello and welcome to the Grianaig Creations Podcast channel. This is episode 79. My name is Kirsty and I am coming to you from Paisley in Scotland. Off the top, I'm just going to say the windows are open because it is such a beautiful day today that it's just too nice not to have the windows open and just airing out the flat. So already you'll have heard some of the birds outside. Hopefully that's as most as you'll hear. And not have some twat coming up the road with an extremely loud car. So today is the 21st of November. It's a Sunday. It's just before midday and we are 7 degrees today with a high of 8 and a low of 1. That's going to be fun tonight. But even though it's 7 degrees, it feels like 3. So it is definitely winter here in Scotland. Maybe a bit warmer down south in England, not too sure. Yesterday I was kicking around the flat in my Ursa sweater and oh my god, that sweater is amazing. It's so thick and warm that I just didn't feel the cold all day. Didn't have to put the heating on, didn't need to get wrapped up in a blanket, nothing like that. It was amazing. So yeah, definitely winter time here in Scotland and I'm okay with that. Like, it gets a little chilly every now and again and you know, Scotland's known for rain, so rain and cold, not my favourite, but when you're inside and you're all snuggly warm, love it. Okay, so we'll start with some chatter at the top of the episode. It was really annoying. Like, I tried to record this 3 times yesterday and there was just something wrong with my memory card, and I swear if it happens again today I'm just going to end up doing like a YouTube live or something because I just can't hack trying to deal with this like technology problem that's going on. But let's start with some stuff as to what's been going on. It's been a while since I last recorded, and that is mostly primarily down to the fact that when I was last able to record, I actually got really sick. So I have had a lot of annual leave this year to take up, and I was actually off 3 weeks ago. I was off for, 3.5 weeks ago, I was off for a week and a half. And the Wednesday was stress central with some family stuff. Thursday, I got a very persistent knock at the door of the flat to let me know that someone had hit my car. Don't worry, nothing's wrong, like no damage, thank god, because the guy just drove off. Friday we had a Halloween party at a friend's house, and then Saturday Scott started getting really sick. Not COVID. He was coming down with a cold, and we know it's not COVID because we both took tests. So Scott was ill and I was looking after him like Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday-ish, and then he was also still ill like Wednesday and Thursday. And then I got my flu jab on the Monday and I was in town and I was like picking up more medication for Scott. And then on Tuesday I started getting like this tickle in my throat and I was like, oh god, no, I've caught it. So I did. I caught Scott's cold, and whenever I get a cold, it will always go for my sinuses. I constantly get sinusitis, if that's how you say it. So like I had horrific pain here, like my jaw, my temples, above my eyebrows. Like I just wanted to cry. I was in so much pain. And yeah, I spent that whole week, my whole full week of annual leave, pretty much in my bed. It was horrible. I hated it. And that was the week I planned to record. So, typical. A, it happens when I'm on annual leave, and B, it's like when I have these plans. Like I had serious plans to like craft and just have this amazing week and a bit of just resting, sleeping, and crafting. That was what I wanted to do that week. And I got the sleeping done. That I did a lot of. And then I went back to work. So I just didn't have the energy to record that week, so you get one now. There were some other things I wanted to talk about. Yeah, I wanted to share some news. It's already been announced on my Instagram. If you follow over there, it's Grianaig Creations. Is it? I don't normally have to say it out loud, so I don't know. I don't actually know what my Instagram is. Yeah, Grianaig Creations. Whoops. Scott and I have booked our wedding. I can't believe it. So we actually booked on Friday just there. We booked a month ago. And we were keeping fairly quiet about it. Our family and some of our close friends knew. But otherwise, we haven't really told anybody because the wedding's not until 2024. And no, I'm not disclosing the date on here. Only really people that are going to be in attendance will really know the date, because I feel like that part's just too private. I might slip up down the line and end up telling you all, but yeah, I'm just not going to disclose the date. But yeah, it's going to be in 2024, so it's quite some time away, which is great. I feel like I'm going to sneeze. Why does this always happen? It's because it's so bright in here. The light is making me need to sneeze. So yeah, it's far enough in advance that it allows us to save up and pay for the wedding that we want instead of rushing it and getting something like kind of like subpar. And it's also far enough away to allow the couples that constantly had to keep cancelling their wedding over the COVID pandemic. Like, I know the pandemic's still going on. I don't need to be told otherwise. But a lot of couples have lost their wedding because of that. And I would prefer, like, in my heart, I would love for them to be able to rebook before, like, we like steal their day or something like that. So, that's happening. And the reason, like, I'm sharing it now is just because we just got this really great surprise in the door on Friday. And it all started because I heard this van reversing. Like, you know how sometimes they've got like a reversing beeper or something? And I just looked out the window, and then I just saw this DPD driver. It just gave me the fear watching him drive. And he very almost hit the car he was reversing into. And my car was the car he was reversing behind. And I was just like, oh my god, like, my car's already been hit once this month. I really don't need it to be hit a second time. So I was watching this guy like a hawk. And then he ended up giving up because his truck was just far too big for this space. And he ended up like kind of double parking across the road. And then he ran into our building. And we had ordered something on Amazon the night before, but it was meant to get shipped to my parents. So I was kind of like, oh no, I think there's been like an admin error. Like, it's coming to us instead of to them. And I was just like, oh man, like, that's just not convenient. And our door goes. And Scott opens it and takes the parcel from the guy. And it's got both our names on it. And I was like, well, that's not right. Because if it was what we'd ordered on Amazon, it would be in my name only, going to my parents' house. So we were kind of like, right, what's going on? What is this? And we opened it up, and it was this beautiful white box that had our wedding on the front of it. And then inside it had like a ton of like paper packaging, like kind of nice crinkly white paper packaging, 2 bottles of Prosecco, 2 party poppers, and a box of Lindt chocolates. And it was from our wedding venue. And it was just so nice, because like, I didn't know wedding venues done that. I was not expecting it. I wasn't hoping for it. So it was a real nice kind of surprise. And they kind of be like, they recommend you keep the box and you put your main wedding memories in it. So we're going to try that. We're going to try and keep that box for as long as possible, because it's, at the moment, we haven't quite got things figured out place-wise in the flat, even though we've been here like 8 months. So it's tucked away just now, but it might need to get moved for Christmas. And then we do run the risk of forgetting about it or just deciding to chuck it out because we just don't have the space for it. But we just thought that was so nice of them, and it was such a good surprise, and it really, really cheered me up. And yeah, so sharing that news with you all. And what else? Is there anything else? I'm genuinely trying to rack my brain to be like, right, what have I done these last couple of weeks? Like, primarily sleep and some sort of craft. I'm going to touch on this real lightly. I'm not making a big deal about it, but I have come out as non-binary. My pronouns are they, them. And I'm not making a big deal about it because that's just who I am. Like, that is me. And if you don't like that, then you can unsubscribe and walk away quietly because I really don't give a shit. And if you do make an announcement, I'm just going to delete your comment because I don't give a crap. But yeah. Okay. Oh, the other announcement. I've released a new pattern. I released it yesterday, and I really wanted to get a podcast out yesterday because then the two would line up, but alas, I had technology problems, and so I would like to share with you the Kelvin Hall Shawl. So for those that have had some of my patterns in the past, you might notice there's a bit of a theme with some, not all of the names, and it's because I name a lot of my shawls after something Scottish or something from Glasgow. So you've got like the Argyle mittens, as in like Argyle Street, and this is the Kelvin Hall Shawl because you've got Kelvin Hall in Glasgow. So this is my first version that I started. This is the 4-ply weight version of the shawl, and I love this shawl. I just think you can wear it so many different ways. You can style it just a little bit interesting. It's garter stitch, so it's squishy goodness, like literally good old squish factor here. This one is nice and light, but yet will keep you really, really warm as well because you can like layer it up, and then you can wrap it around just like a wee bit more as well. You can knit it longer, you can knit it shorter, depends how much yarn you've got. You can knit it in different colours, like you can make you can marl it, you can make it like a gradient, stripes, you name it, like you can work it. So this is my design, and it came out yesterday. It's available on my Payhip and my Ravelry. I'll put the links to those down below, and you can wear it like different ways, like I was saying. So you can put the triangle to the back and then wrap it around like that. And I had my DK weight version on yesterday, possibly Friday night, and it just kept me so snugly warm. It was great. I really, really loved it because some of our windows have like a real big nasty draft, and sometimes you just want like something like on your neck to kind of take that wee bite away from the draft coming in. So this is a 4-ply version. In the pattern, I haven't written? Oh my goodness, that's bad. That is bad grammar. I haven't written specific yarn to use, and I'll explain why I haven't done that in just a moment. I'm just going to show you the DK version. I love this one. Look at the colour! So this was yarn I dyed when I was doing that side of the yarn world. I just really, really love this colour. It's got cat hair on it. I probably took this down to my mum's at some point, or it's just kind of like come off of some of my clothes at some point. because we don't have a cat here. So yeah, I just really love this. It's so squishy, it's so versatile. The pattern is really quite simple. It's definitely beginner friendly, but at the same point it's interesting as well, and the construction is definitely something I haven't seen before. Excuse me. I thought of this pattern 4 if not 5 years ago, and I had a swatch that I found the other day, and then I proceeded to tidy up. So I don't know where it is. I'm gonna go find it because it's just gonna show the true difference between what I've made now and what my original swatch was. So 2 seconds and I will go find that and be right back. So genuinely don't know what I've done with that little swatch, which is really annoying because when I found it I was just like, oh, I plan to record this weekend, so I'll keep it separate. And yeah, it's grown feet, it's walked away. I don't know where it is. But it just shows like my original construction design compared to what I've done now. And I find that really interesting. So I'm really glad that all those years ago I done that swatch whilst I had the idea, because I definitely prefer the way I've written it now. I wouldn't go back to my original idea, that's for sure. So if you're interested, this is the Kelvin Hall Shawl, and I will have the links to it down below. Okay. I would normally at this point continue with like finished objects, considering those are finished. But I do have another version of the Kelvin Hall Shawl on the needles at the moment that I am trying to get finished. And so I'm just going to show that off and then continue into works in progress. So ignore the fact I have the balls of yarn on the needles. It's so I don't get everything tangled up, which I'm doing a great job of recently. Like, I leave it on the couch for 2 minutes and I come back and it's like your headphones. Put your headphones away neatly and come back and they're always tangled up. That's what's happening with my balls of yarn right now. So this is my on the go version, and I really love this colour. The camera is kind of trying to compensate because I have a bright jumper on and the yarn, but it's a bit darker than what I'm seeing on screen just now. It could be very different. Yeah. Camera's not really sure how to react right now with all these colours and the change in the sunlight and stuff. But this is another DK weight version of the shawl that I'm working on just now, and this yarn was dyed up by Rosie of Pixel Atlantis, who no longer dyes yarn, and I'm making these in yarns that you can't get kind of for a reason. And it's not to be a bitch and be like, ha, you've now got to go work out which yarn you want to use. It's because my testers were all yarn dyers. And my thought process was, if I could find some yarn dyers that were interested in test knitting in their yarn, I don't have to ask for yarn support. I currently can't afford to buy yarn, hence why I would have needed yarn support. I'm saving for a wedding, a house and a honeymoon. Go figure that I can't buy yarn right now. And they would have, if they're attending in person or even online festivals, they would have a, the word was right on the tip of my tongue, a prototype. They would have a finished item that they could show and be like, right, this is yarn A, B or C if they were doing it in multiples, or this is this pattern knit up in this colourway on this base. This is what it looks like knitted up. And I could then share their photos or their posts from their grid and say, this is my pattern. Yes, I am self-promoting, but this is this dyer who has knit it in this colourway. Go to their shop if you're interested. So that was my thought process behind it all. There was multiple factors that did benefit me, but I feel like there was more factors that would help benefit and work for a yarn dyer. So I'm waiting for photographs from some of my other testers, but I do have photographs from Quack Yarns, and you'll find them on the Ravelry listing, the PayHip listing, and also on my Instagram and Facebook page. So I hope to get this finished today, because I do have other things I really need to work on this week. One of them being the commission blanket, which hasn't been worked on in weeks. I just haven't had the energy to do it. I needed small, compact projects, and that blanket is like 1.75, 2 meters at its biggest point right now, and it's just too big, too energy stealing, but I'm going to work on it this week. So that is one of my works in progress, and what is receiving currently the most love, because I am so close to getting it finished. And I reckon I'm also going to gift it to somebody for Christmas, because I love my yellow DK weight one. But I do love this colour. Like, I really, really love this colour. So I don't know. I might keep it for myself. I might gift it. Oh, more tea. Especially before it goes cold. Okay. So we're on the works in progress, so we'll stay on works in progress. And I guess these are works in progress. So when I'm working at my computer and I get a meeting, I try and work on a very small, compact project, because normally my meetings last at the least amount of time. It can last anywhere between 10 and 15 minutes. At the most amount of time, it's normally, for me, no more than an hour. So I would like a small project that is mindless, so that I can pay attention to the meeting. Because I feel like if I'm not keeping my hands busy, my brain will run crazy and I'll just not pay attention to the meeting. And I know a lot of other people feel that way, hence why we've got so many like fidget spinners and fidget cubes and those poppy things that I don't understand really, but I guess it's like bubble wrap. So I try and have a sock on the go, and I don't have a knitted sock, like a fully hand knitted sock at the moment, but I have a good few sock tubes that need heels, toes and cuffs. So I've recently picked up this sock tube. This was like one big sock tube. I think it was like that. Well, without the toe, obviously. I think it was like one big sock tube. And I done the way I tend to work it. Right, I'll show you on this one. I have another one. So this is one big sock tube, and it was actually even longer from this end. There's another 2 different yarns, but in between each of the yarns there's like scrap yarn that I can at least cut into and like discard. So I will put my needles in on the last row of the actual sock yarn, and then I will cut into the waste yarn and pull out what's left. I will then do either a cuff or a toe. In this case I chose a cuff, and then that is now separate from the other tube. What I now would do is half it. I'll find the rough halfway point. So that's because I have scrap yarn at one end, like I'm just matching them up between the bottom of the scrap yarn and the top of like the bottom of the cuff. And then I'll find the rough halfway point, and what I'll do is I'll go in with 2 sets of needles. I'll go in on this half, so you've got the bottom with the cuff, so on the bottom where the cuff is I'll go in with a long circular needle, and at the top of where the cuff will go, I think I've just really kind of messed that up. Not great with words and explaining things. Okay, so where the cuff is, obviously the bottom of it's going to be a toe. when I'm working a toe, I use a long circular needle. So I'm going to go in and pick up all my stitches with a long circular needle. I will then leave one round, and then I'll go in with my short 9-inch circular and pick up the needles on this side, which is going to be where my cuff will go. I'll then go into where that one round that I left, and I'll snip once, and then I'll pick my way along to pull the yarn out, and then I will get 2 halves. From there I'll complete the toe and the cuff that are on the needles, and then I'm left with just having to do one toe, which is where the scrap yarn is. Now, you'll see that on these ones, no heel, nothing yet. And that's because I don't know who these are going to be for. And once I figure that out, I can figure out the heel placement. So at the moment, this is going to be how they're going to be left for a little while, just until I decide who these are for, because I actually have a pair of socks in this yarn. And talking of the yarn, this is Marcus's, which is Fibre Punk. That's his colourway in the BB8. So as you know, I love Marcus's yarn. I love Fibre Punk yarn. I've got so much of it. I actually have another pair of his to show off in the finished objects. And I love this colour and I had to get it. I also have his R2D2 colourway. Not knit up, but I can't wait to get them knit up. So this is the BB8 colourway and Fibre Punk, and I'll put a link to his Etsy page down below, because at the moment he does have some yarn at time of recording, of course. So this is the BB8 colourway with Fibre Punk, and the contrast is an Adrafil sock yarn that my mum got me when there was a yarn shop closing down in my old town, which is such a shame because it's been there for years. So once I figure out who these are for, I will find the heel placement. And then, as you've seen, I've also been working on this one. All it has just now is one cuff. And because I've not got work this week, this probably isn't going to get picked up for at least a week, just because I have other crafts that I want to work on. So that's that one. The yarn is opal, I think. I think it's opal. And I have knit a friend a pair of socks in this that really need to get shipped off to her. Sorry, Annika. I'm so late in shipping those. But I have knit another pair in this yarn. Sorry, Annika, I've just spoiled which yarn you're getting. But yep, this was leftovers, and whatever I've got left over, if it's like 50 grams or less, I'll just put through my sock machine. And no, I'm not disclosing what details, because I am not promoting that company. That's a whole other issue. Works in progress. So, when I was off sick, well no, rewind. Before I was off sick, you'll have heard me say at the start, I went for my flu jag. I get my flu jag every year because of my asthma, and I've had flu and it really was not pleasant with my asthma. I almost ended up in hospital. So I take my flu jag every year. And I was in town, and after my flu jag I had to go get some shopping to get more medicine for Scott. I think I picked up some groceries while I was out. And then on the walk home I passed what is W.H. Smith's. So if you're in the UK, you'll recognise that name. I don't think they've got any out with the UK. I don't think. Could be wrong. But it is essentially a leading chain newsagent that also sells books, normally has a post office in it, and genuinely everything apart from magazines is so expensive. So I went in thinking, right, I might treat myself to either a knitting or a crochet magazine. And I picked up a crochet magazine. And I could go next door and show you which one it is, but I am not going to do that because I would like to spend some time with Scott before he goes to work, and I want to get this recorded. And I picked it up because inside, from what I could see on the cover, there's just so many things that I wanted to make and try. There's one garment in particular that I really, really, really want to try. And it's actually kind of corner to corner crochet. And I say kind of because corner to corner crochet is you start in a corner and you work out like that, and it will grow at a 90-degree angle. Whereas this garment starts slap bang in the middle, and you start with a square, and then I think, from my understanding of reading the pattern, it goes out to go up and down, out to go up and down, and it grows in that direction. So instead of working that way, it's growing out that way. So I thought, before I even attempt that kind of corner to corner crochet, I should probably just try bog standard corner to corner crochet. And I had 4 balls of this yarn that my mum had given me, and I thought, do you know what, I don't particularly have any ideas of what I'm going to make with this yarn, so let's try like a lap blanket or something and see how we get on. And so this was born. Right, where's my yarn? So it's already fairly big. I've had to put in a contrast center panel because Scott has dibbed this blanket, and he's also lovingly named it his pizza blanket because of the colour. He thinks it kind of looks like pizza sauce and cheese. And I wanted it big enough to go around him and yet tucked in a little bit, but also long enough so that his legs aren't going to be really, really cold. And to get it longer, I could have made it more of a rectangle rather than a square, but I wasn't smart enough to think of that when I was doing it, so it's going to be a square. And so I put this big red piece in from some yarn that I had in my stash. It's a yarn from Turkey that I picked up in what's known in the UK, or at least in Scotland, as the pound basket, but yet nothing is a pound. And I just think the red works really, really well. He almost picked a colour that just didn't go with any of the colours in the main yarn, and so I was kind of like, no, let's go with red. And now I'm on the decrease, but I haven't picked this up in a little while because I really want to get the other Kelvin Hall Shawl finished, and then I can work on the commission blanket, and then I'll work on this to get this finished, because he does love it. He really, really wants it finished. And I'm doing that on, oh, I keep dropping it, a 4.5mm crochet hook. I don't think you can really see that. There you go, 4.5. And all I done was go on YouTube and type in corner to corner crochet tutorial, and then I started that, and then once I got the basics I just left it and went about my own way until I thought, right, okay, that's wide enough. And then I went back to the same tutorial to find out how to do the decreases. So now that I've done it, I feel quite confident, but I'm still very hesitant about the pattern I really, really want to try. So we'll see. We're going to give it a try. If it doesn't make much sense, I might ask if anyone else has tried that one particular garment and see how they got on, because the instructions do look a little bit confusing, but I haven't reread it since now knowing how to do corner to corner crochet. So we'll see. It might feel very different now. Okay, so that's all my works in progress, because even though it's been a few weeks since I actually recorded, oh, I've got itchy nose now. Oh, what's my mum asking me? Oh, okay. Oh, sorry, it's such an itchy nose. yeah, it's been a few weeks since I've recorded, but the blanket was all I wanted to work on, especially once I started getting energy whilst I was still unwell. So I was floored for 2 if not 3 days where I just didn't do anything. I was either in bed sleeping or I was on the sofa just watching crap on TV or watching movie after movie. So when I did start getting energy back, I really wanted to try corner to corner crochet, and that just really kind of took over, and it was all I wanted to work on because it was at the point it was a small project, and then because Scott really wanted it, it was spurring me on to kind of keep working on it and get it finished for him. So I'll get it done. There's something catching my eye on my top. I'll get it done, but I really need to work on the commission blanket to get that finished. So, finished objects. I only have 2 above and beyond the 2 shawls that you've seen, and these are all to do with the GC Halloween Sock Along 21 that I was running. So I managed to get 2.5 pairs of socks done for the GC Halloween Sock Along 21. God, I had to pick smaller names. I got 2.5 socks done. So you saw my first pair, which was the pair that were hand spun. This is the second pair. I don't think you saw them finished. If you did, pretend you didn't know about them. This is the Pumpkin King colourway from Hey J Yarns. This was a micro striping sock yarn, and I don't think these scream Halloween, and I love that. I done them cuff down with a heel flap and gusset, a slip stitch heel flap and gusset. I do mine with 64 stitches on a 2.25mm needle. The black yarn is a Kinko zigzag sock yarn, and yeah, I think, oh, and I done a slightly rounded toe as well because I find that very comfortable. So that is my second pair of socks for the GC Halloween 21. Try that again. GC Halloween Sock Along 21. Oh, really do need to pick shorter names. Well, I hope nobody's injured or hurt. Okay, so my half sock that I managed to get done in the month of October is my Alpha Buzz Knickers, which is a fibre punk yarn, but since the month of October I was able to get the second sock finished. So I do have 2 pairs, no, I have 2 socks, and I freaking love this colourway. I think it is awesome. I remember sitting in, that was my stomach rumbling if anyone heard that. I remember sitting in a restaurant. I think it was a restaurant. So basically it was a hotel with a restaurant, as most hotels do, and it also had a spa and a Starbucks. My friend Aileen and I had just come out of the spa. That sounds so pretentious, but we were having a spa day. We went to the restaurant because we were really hungry. Like, I actually started feeling ill, I was that hungry. And she pulled out a sock project, and it was this yarn, and I was like, oh my god, I need that yarn. And she's like, oh, it's Marcus's. So I got on Facebook and I dropped him a message. I was like, I need this yarn. And he's like, oh, I'm thinking of dyeing more up. And I was like, Bagsy a scheme. Mine. Having one, no arguments. And that's how I got a skein of Alpha Buzz Knickers. Like, I remember that so clearly, and yet I don't remember a lot of other things. Strange, isn't it? Ugh, goatee. So, yep, this is my Alpha Buzz Knickers socks. Again, cuff down. Done something ever so slightly differently with this one. I actually cast on 68 stitches, and then I decreased, and I'm I got to 64 for the foot. And I done that because I made these a little bit longer. Turns out I'm kind of liking slightly longer socks now, which is going to be a pain in the arse for those 50-gram skeins. I'm definitely going to have to do those toe up, just to make sure I've got enough yarn. So I made them a little bit longer, and just so there's a comfort level and I'm not stretching too much, I just went up 1 stitch count. And then I decreased down for the foot, because I definitely know that 64 on the foot is a good size for me. So cuff down, 68 to 64, slip stitch, heel flap and gusset, and again a slightly rounded toe. That seems to be my go-to now. If I'm making slightly longer socks. If it's the length I would normally knit, now there's not a huge amount of difference in these. Like, seriously, that's not much difference at all. But if it's a normal, excuse me, apologies. If it's a normal length sock, then I do 64 stitches. If I'm doing a slightly longer sock, it's 68 stitches. And that's just a comfort thing for me. That's the only reason I do that. It's just a slight comfort thing. So yeah, I got 2 pairs. I now have 3 pairs of Halloween socks, and I wish I brought the hand spun ones up with me and I could have shown them all off. I'm like, why do these look so much shorter? And I'm like, yeah, I'm grabbing them by the heel, that's why. So yeah, I have 3 more pairs of Halloween socks. I still have so much Halloween yarn left to go, and it makes me very happy. I also have this much left of Elphaba knickers. So once I fix my sock machine, I'll probably run this through and get a sock tube, and then I'll decide who gets those. I don't know if my mum would wear that colourway or not. I'll need to ask her. If not, I'll see if Kirsty will wear them. If not, I might just kind of do a wee giveaway and see who wants that one. Like the sock tube, that is. It's then up to you to put heels, toes and cuffs in. I'm still figuring out how to do heels, toes and cuffs for other people, so I ain't gonna do it for you. No offense. We had a yarn shop closed down here in Paisley, which is really, really sad. But they were a bit of everything. They had a ton of Halloween costumes, or just fancy dress costumes. Doesn't have to be for Halloween. And they wanted to expand a lot of their crafting stuff and kind of do away with the costumes, but they seem to be quite known for their costumes, so they never really got rid of them, which is such a shame because they really could have expanded their craft stuff. So they had fabric, threads, I think they'd done like zippers and stuff, and just generally like a lot of haberdashery type stuff, and then they had yarn. And they were closing down and they were having 50% off. And even though I'm saving for a wedding and a house and a honeymoon and just generally saving so that, you know, rainy day weather and all that jazz, I went along to see what goodies I might be able to get. And I picked these up. So these are Woolcraft Super Wash Sock Yarn. I got this one in blues, like tonal blues. It's not, I don't think it's a self-striper. I don't think so. And then I got this really nice kind of, I don't want to say heathered, but it's definitely not solid black. Like when you look at it very closely, you can see like a lot of white hair. So I'm not really sure. Okay. Sorry, I'm just reading the message. So yeah, I got these. So these are retail at £6, so I got them for £3 each. And then I also got, because I took Maddie Harvey's necklace class, I ended up buying some ribbon yarn. So this is a brown, not a black. It's coming up black on my screen, but it might be brown on the computer. A peach, and then quite a bright pink. And that's in the ribbon yarn, and that's hooked. So these were retailing at £8, so I got them for £4. And then, not really thinking, I ended up getting Hooked I can't say it. It's their t-shirt yarn from the same brand. So it's the Hooked again, and it's that word, I can't say it. The Z and the P are confusing me. Spaghetti, is it just the same as spaghetti? And this is recycled cotton and other recycled fibres. And this was $8.50 and she gave me it for £4. So I got the red one, and then I got this one. And yes, it's that bright. And I freaking love it. So I got these. Okay, I'm not really sure where it cut off there. So I got this one. It's that bright. It's awesome. That's my stomach grumbling again. I really need to go have some food. Oh, wow. Yep. Way past my eating time. So I got these thinking that I might be able to do the necklaces with this, but just be very careful of the stretch factor that's involved, because it is kind of like t-shirt yarn, so it's got a good amount of stretch on it. So I just need to be quite mindful about that when I'm working with this and see how I get on. But I just have this idea of making necklaces for people and gifting them for like birthdays, Christmases, that kind of thing. And then, yeah, I love my necklace. Like, I can see it hanging up right behind me. I don't wear it often enough because I think it's just maybe a wee bit too long for me. And because of that, it doesn't sit very well on me. So I really want to make like a few more and see how I get on with those. But yeah, the red one and, well, both of them are retail $8.50, but I got them for £4 each. So that was really cool. And so once I've done all my, oh, there's a word. Obligation knitting. There we go. Once I've done all my obligation knitting, I will be free to make all the necklaces and just have so much fun with like tons of scraps and minis and stuff. And part of me hopes you can hear my stomach grumbling. Part of me hopes you can't. So that's all the yarn stuff. I'll just be a bit more jibber jabber. I actually am doing intermittent fasting. I don't want shit for this. Like, there's so much judgment when it comes to weight loss or weight gain that I'm telling you this because I'm sharing with you. I don't need your opinion. I don't want your opinion. But I'm doing intermittent fasting, so I eat between the hours of 12 and 8. It is now currently 1:15, and I haven't eaten. And so my stomach's just going, what are you doing? But this now means I can eat until 9:15. And I'm doing this for medical reasons. I medically need to lose weight. I was diagnosed with polycystic ovarian syndrome Okay, I'm going to change that. I was diagnosed with polycystic ovarian syndrome when I was 19. Don't ask me what year that was because I can't work that out. And I got the diagnosis after not having a period for 12 months. And I was put on the pill. I was given a gym membership and I was told to lose weight. I think I'd done that. I tried to. And then I got diagnosed with Crohn's disease, and the Crohn's made me lose weight. And so naturally my body started kicking back in and I started having natural periods again. Along comes Scott and we get comfortable in the relationship and I go, fuck it, I don't care that I'm overweight. And I put on... So, when I was diagnosed with PCOS, I was 21 stone. Come my Crohn's disease diagnosis, I ended up losing 6 stone. 2 of that was through hard work and dieting and going to the gym. 4 of them was because of the Crohn's and how sick I got. So I got down to... Well, at my sickest, I actually got down a lot more, but that's because I was in hospital and I wasn't allowed to eat food. I was on a liquid diet. At my sickest, I was down to 12.5 stone, which is crazy considering I used to be 21. I then got better, got out of hospital, was allowed to eat, and I was maintaining my weight at about 15 stone. And it's now gone up by 2. So my body's kind of gone, no, we don't want to function again. And my doctor's just like, right, you need to lose weight. So medically I have to lose weight for my body to start functioning again. And so I don't want your shit when it comes to weight loss. I don't want any judgment. I don't want anything to do with diet culture or anything like that. But I am trying very hard to lose weight. It is very, very difficult. I think what's helping is Scott's also trying to lose weight, but he's doing it for his health as well, but he's also doing it for the wedding. That's his choice. Again, don't want any shit for it. If you leave anything in the comments like that, I'm deleting it. But yeah, it's definitely time for me to go eat food. So even though I've left that on a very stern note, it is very upbeat. We are trying to remain very positive about it. And yeah, it's definitely time for me to go eat. So I'm going to leave that there. I hope you're all having a fantastic week. I have the week off work and I'm so happy. I plan on gutting this room because I'm trying to find something. I'm trying to find 2 things. I know for a fact I bought a specific sewing pattern for a dress from Hobbycraft. Can I find it? No. Do I have the perfect fabric to make the dress with? Yes. It's my red panda fabric that so many of you wonderful human beings managed to send me. Thank you, Teresa. Thank you to the others. And I really, 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 really want to make this dress. But can I find the goddamn fecking sewing pattern? No. The other thing is a white box that has finished socks in it for my best friend. And can I find it? No. Don't move, because you lose stuff. You misplace it, you put it somewhere and you think, I'll remember where that is. And do you hell. So I'm gutting this room. I started last week. I got about a third of the way through and then I was just like, I'm too tired. I plan on doing spinning. I plan on working on the commission blanket. I plan on cleaning the flat in general, which I do every day anyway, but I plan on doing like a big clean because we're having family over on Tuesday and then my friend's coming over on Wednesday. And yeah, I just plan on enjoying this time off, not getting sick, and crafting my little heart out. So I hope you guys are all having a fantastic weekend. I hope you are having a good week. I hope you're looking forward to the festive season, if that is how you celebrate at this time of year. I hope you're staying safe. I hope you are well. And let's leave this with some good intentions, shall we? Let's see. Let's find something online for a good intention. Let's do something a little bit different. It would help if I could spell. Or type, for that matter. I think that's the problem. Okay, let's pick one at random. There. Okay, so here's a nice one. I welcome gestures of goodwill and good intention from whatever source they come. So think of that for the next couple of days or week. And I hope that that brings you good things. And it brings you good moods as well. And you can let me know either on Instagram or the Facebook group or in the comments below if that helps you at all. So yeah, I hope you're all staying really safe and I hope you're having a fantastic time and crafting your little hearts out as well. And I will see you next time. Bye everyone.